Hi, Gary here. You know, there's a term, creative destruction, that was coined first in the 1940s by the Austrian economist Joseph Schumpeter. Now, he didn't realize, but that term has been used over and over the last 20 years in particular because of the effect of the microchip. Having speeds doubling every 18 months has made a huge change in every industry and every place you turn to here in the United States or abroad, globally, so forth. You know, it takes me back to the first time it really hit a big company in corporate America was in 1987. Andy Grove is running Intel. He went to the board and had a radical idea. He said, look, we're getting our, what handed to us by Japanese companies in our space, which is memory chips. Let's ditch memory chips completely and go into processor chips. They almost didn't do it, but they did, and of course the rest is history. Now, Andy Grove wrote a book in 1996, and I'm going to read some quotes from this book because I think it bears a lot of fruit in this particular transition. It's something we have to proactively do if we're being obsolete or something is changing in our industry out there. And so the book is Only the Paranoid Survive, and he writes, the lesson is we all need to expose ourselves to the winds of change. And he goes on to say, the ability to recognize that the winds have shifted and to take appropriate action before you wreck your boat is crucial to the future of an enterprise. Now, it's future to an enterprise, it's also future to you individually. And so I like to think of this in terms of you're a corporation of one. You have to look to see what skills you need to change or do you need to transition out of to move forward. There's another corporation on the other side of the country in Rochester, New York, called Eastman Kodak, otherwise known as Kodak. You know, in 1975, Kodak had 89% of the film processing business. Huge advantage. And in that exact same year, they had developed a digital camera. Now, it's interesting because they decided not to market the digital camera because they didn't want to take away from their core business. So, fast forward, by 1996, they had a $29 billion market cap, 140,000 employees. Last year, they went through bankruptcy and just came out recently with only 16,000 employees. Now, I have to say, if you worked for Kodak and you kept working harder and harder and harder at the film business, it got creatively destroyed, as Joseph Schumpeter would say, and you had digital. In other words, the analog is gone, the digital is in. But it's just a classic case of two corporations with two different stories. Intel being proactive and paranoid, and Kodak deciding not to change. And the destruction that took place for a lot of people. That's 140,000 folks. That's a lot of folks. So this happens on a daily basis to individuals in individual jobs or working for corporations that aren't seeing that light coming down the tunnel. And it's very important to create your own transition. Move yourself out of the situation. Could be you get more education and transition upstream. Could be you go to an entirely different industry where there's growth taking place. Whatever it happens to be, you become more focused on your skill sets and the value delivered to the world, not just stay in the same job for 30 or 40 years and collect the gold watch and so forth. That model's gone forever. Young folks get this very well. You see that very clearly in the marketplace. Now, if you're not sure and you can't see the forest for the trees, go to your friends and discuss what you think's going on in your profession, or maybe a trusted advisor. Talk to us. Get a second opinion about maybe you're not tracking the right way and need to look at these things. It's very important to be very proactive in this area if you're actively working to make sure you don't get obsolesced or outsourced or downsized or all those wonderful other things. I thought this would be an interesting subject for you to consider. So until next time, enjoy.